We ready? All right, good. Well, exciting day for us. It's always good to get signing day here. Obviously, it's a long process. But one of the first things for me was the recruiting of new coaches. And I want to talk a little bit about our new coaches today. I'm fired up about that. I get reunited with two coaches that I've spent time with, and Lorenzo Ward and Mike Summers. You know, Lorenzo worked for me at the University of Arkansas, and then I coached against him when he was the defensive coordinator at South Carolina. A guy that's very knowledgeable about the game, but also does a great job of teaching and motivating his players. So I'm excited about that. Mike Summers and I have been together for 7 seasons, 7 very successful seasons, at least most of them. And then a cup of coffee down in Bowling Green when he came down for a little bit and then left and went to USC. So it's good to have him back in Louisville, a guy that means a lot to this program. He's a great teacher. He's a very good technique coach, does a great job motivating his players, and someone that I can always go to for advice, and someone I truly trust in what he tells me. Real excited about Peter Sermon, our new defensive coordinator. Peter's a guy that I've always felt like I've known for a long time. I coached his brother when his brother was our best defensive lineman when I was coaching at the University of Idaho. So Peter growing up and went on and played at Oregon. And then when I was with the Jaguars, he came in and was a player at the Tennessee Titans, a team I truly hated at the time. We were 15-3 one year, and we lost all 3 games to the Titans. So it's just one of those things. I've never liked the Titans, but been able to follow his career, coach against him when he was at Tennessee, and now he's coaching our defense. So I think he's going to be a great teacher. He relates really well to our players, and I'm excited about how he'll run the defense. As far as our signing class goes, you know, the first thing I need to do is thank our recruiting staff. I thought they did a great job. They put a lot of effort into it. There's a lot of time that goes into a class, and they certainly did a lot of work. A lot of things people don't even know about, and you know, organizing our visits at game days, the camps, getting players to camps. And we actually had half of our signing class was at one of our camps, so that's something that's great. You know, we always try to get guys on campus as soon as we can and see our facilities and the city and the university, and to have 11 guys that went through our camp, I think speaks a lot to our recruiting staff. I thought our coaches did a great job here in the last part of recruiting. You know, we had these guys committed for a long time, and we had to hold off a lot of schools. We had some guys that continued to take visits. We have some guys we talked out of taking visits. But we did have a lot of schools that came in and really went after our commitments. And I think that speaks to our coaching staff and to this recruiting class, because, you know, with this new social media deal that we have going on now, this group of recruits had their little group messaging going on, and did a great job of recruiting each other and helping get us guys. And, you know, Trayshawn Smith, a guy out of Cincinnati, was kind of the leader of the group. And we always joke at Trayshawn that he certainly has a job as a recruiter when he's done playing football, because he did that good of a job. But I like the class. I'm very excited and very fired up about getting these guys on campus. One of the things we really wanted to do was get longer, more athletic and faster, and I think we really did that. When you look at the size of our defensive backs now and the size of our offensive line, you know, really big, tall tight end that's athletic, I really feel like we hit those objectives right there. We also felt like we really needed to address the offensive line and the secondary, and those were our 2 priorities going into the recruiting process. And I feel like we hit the numbers that we needed, but also the type of athlete and type of players that can come in and have the ability to compete right away to play, but also develop and get better and help us down the road. So I'm pretty excited about this class. Again, I'd like to thank our coaching staff and our recruiting staff, the professors at the university who give up their Saturdays to come over and meet with our recruits and talk to them about their college and how they would go about class and get their degree, and our academic group that also gives up their Saturday to do that. You know, that's really important to the athletes and very, very important to their parents. So that always plays a big part in this. With that, I'll just open up for questions.
You mentioned offensive line as a point of focus. What did you like out of that group and load it up on?
Yeah, I thought we loaded up pretty well. You know, we got one guy on campus right now, Cole Bentley, and he's very, very athletic. You know, we've always recruited him as an offensive lineman, and he played tight end throughout his high school career, 300-pound tight end that they never threw the ball to. So that's why we consider him an offensive lineman. He's on campus right now, and I've been able to watch him do some quickness and agility drills and lift. And he's a guy that will go out there this spring and compete for playing time. There's no question about that. I really feel good about the young freshmen that we got coming in. You know, Caleb Chandler is a guy that we feel can compete as a guard and center. Very athletic, very smart, knows the game of football. And then two big, tall tackles that we feel like will, you know, do a great job for us. And then we were able to get a junior college transfer from out in California that can play either guard or tackle. You know, when he came in on his visit, he was 343 pounds. We told him he needed to lose some weight. He's already down to 326. So he's very dedicated and working hard at doing that. It's important for him to play early. So we've got to do a good job from now till he gets here in the summer of getting him information and being on the phone and teaching him parts of the offense prior to him getting here.
That group was already good, but what did it mean today to pick up a four-star recruit like that?
Yeah, I think that was pretty important to us. You know, it was one of those things that we really didn't know, or at least I didn't know. You know, Lonnie always thought that he was probably coming here. And then you always read things into it as the day goes on, and you know, whether we're going to get him or not going to go get him. I think the last communication was last night at 10:38. So it was, you know, one of those things that ends up being fun when you get him. It wouldn't have been fun if we didn't get him, I can tell you that. But we're real excited about him. You know, he's big, he's athletic. Coach Summers and Coach Galloway got to watch him play basketball, and he runs down the court, does a reverse slam, you know, so to be able to be that athletic at that size, you know, says a lot. And we feel like, you know, the teams that we competed against and beat for recruiting, you know, says a lot about him too.
Russ East was a guy that was sort of at the eye of the Kentucky-Louisville battle, and you guys kept him. Just talking about how you guys were able to keep him, because I know Kentucky tried to make a pass for him late.
Yeah, as did Notre Dame and Oklahoma and other guys. And you know, Russ was another one of those guys that has been here a lot. You know, even as a junior, he was at spring practice. He's down here at junior days. He's been down here at camp. We built a really good relationship with him and had him committed early. He wanted to come in on an official visit during the season, something I tried to talk him out of. You know, I was like, "Oh, Russ, you know, we'd be able to spend more time with you after the season, come to bowl practice." But in his mind, he wanted to come down here on his official visit so he could commit. And I think he was very strong in sticking with that commitment. His mom and dad played a big part in it, and you know, he's a very quality football player and a very quality young man that we're excited to have in our program.
You got four guys that came in early. How big is that for their progression, especially if they want to play this fall?
Yeah, the four guys that are here, you know, they get a huge advantage because they're going through the conditioning and the training that college athletes go through. And when you're in high school and you're a junior college player, no matter how hard you think you're working out, it's not the same as when they get here. You know, the intensity, the weightlifting, the speed conditioning that we do. So they all get that opportunity, and then they get to go through spring ball and have a chance to compete for depth in spring ball. They get to learn the offense and defense quicker and special teams. So I think for them in the football aspect of it, it's a huge plus. I'm not sure I would have given up my spring of my senior year to go to college. So I always ask them, why you want to do this? What's the reasoning? It's not something that I like am pressing or pushing guys to come at mid-year, but it is a new fad, and you see more and more guys graduate early and come to college.
How many of the newcomers on the offensive line do you think could contribute next season potentially?
Yeah, I think that's yet to be seen. You got to see how quickly they learn and how physically developed they are. I think this group physically has a real good opportunity to do that, but you have to come in and be able to learn. You have to be able to adjust to the tempo and speed of the game. What I tell them all the time is everybody that you're going to be playing with, everybody that you're going to line up against, they were the best player at their high school too. So the game's different. It's faster and the playbook's bigger. The defense asks their guys to do more, so there's a learning curve there. We have been able to get true freshmen to play on the offensive front. When you look at Jaron Christian and Kenny Thomas, guys that came in and did a good job for us. So it can be done. It just takes a lot of dedication and hard work. But physically, it's not like we're bringing guys in that have to develop and get better. We have, might have to lose a few pounds at a few spots and be in good condition. But they're going to be strong and flexible.
So along those lines, is it that they would be able to play because of their talent, or they would be able to play because you need them to play as freshmen?
Yeah, there's a sign that Coach Summers will put up in the offensive line room that says everything matters. So they'll be able to play when they show their teammates that they're able to play. But everything matters, are they physically ready to play? Are they mentally ready to play? Do you have a need for that? There's every single thing matters. But what I always truly believe is that the players show their teammates they're ready to start, they're ready to compete, because their teammates go against them every day and see them compete, see them prepare, and they have to trust you to be ready to play. Well, every position we work to upgrade, and we even tell these guys this, a year from now we're going to go out and try to find someone better than they are. That's just the nature of recruiting. Yeah, there's a lot of anxiety. That's for sure. That's all part of the business, But I think the thing that was unique about this group is that they committed early. We had a lot of them on campus. Some of them committed over the summer. Some of them committed early in the fall. And we continue to recruit with the idea in your mind that, well, right now we really don't have a spot for them, because if we get the guys we really want, the guys we already have, but you have to continue to recruit in case you don't. Honestly, I think we should get to where basketball is, that when someone's committed, hands off, let them go. But it's not that way in football. What happens in football is someone commits to us, and it's like a feeding frenzy, and all the sharks come after them. But it's just part of the business. You got to understand it. I think the thing that was so special about this group is we built relationships with them, and they said they were coming here, and for the most part, they all kept it.
Since you have a lot of early commitments, did you notice any kind of Heisman bump, or do you think that would be something that comes with like the 2018 class and on down?
Yeah, we felt like we had, if you want to call it a Heisman bump, or how we played on TV early in the season, midway through the season, we certainly were having guys that answered the phone that we talked to or calling us, and we've had guys that we felt like that really helped us.
Malik Cunningham is one of those guys. I know that a lot of schools look at different positions. You guys have this quarterback.
Yeah, and one of the things I really like about Malik is he's played quarterback his whole life. So he's natural with it. He's natural with leading. He's natural with how to run the offense out on the field. He can really throw the ball. He's athletic enough to make the runs. I feel like he's tall enough. You know, I think some people question that, but he's just over 6'1", and he sees things and can deliver balls in through the seams. So I like him a lot. I think he's a guy that we were on early. You know, a year ago I was at the high school and watched all his video with Coach Scott, someone that we really liked.
If there is a change in the early signing period next year, how is that going to affect your decision making?
Yeah, I think that we'll have to really see. You know, I'm not sure. We guess every year they talk about an early signing. I got some coaches on my staff that say, yeah, we need to do that. That's something that, you know, we wouldn't be doing this right now, hanging on, seeing if we're going to get a guy or not. I've always felt like I like the recruiting period that we have. We have to leave our borders to go get guys, and I always felt like early signings benefited teams where the majority of their players are right in their same state.
Comfortable making commitments
Making commitments.
You offer a kid all his findings in December. You feel like you have enough information?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see this early signing period happening in the December of their junior year. I can see an early signing period. One of the things they've talked about on early signing is doing it on the JC signing date and giving them 4 days to be able to sign at that time. If you can do that, yeah, because then they've been on your campus and you've been out and seen them. Because I do think that you need to get to know them and build the relationships. I think that's what you're asking, whether you get to know enough about them to sign them early. I think, you know, if it's going to be earlier than that, then you'd have to change the calendar a little bit. And now we would be seeing contacts being made in the spring, where you can go in and see them in spring. So now you're looking at juniors that are being pulled out of class for one straight month in April and May, you know, every day. So that's why I've never been in favor of it also. I don't like the thoughts of a contact in spring recruiting.
What was the focus of the wide receiver spot? Did you get what you needed?
I really feel like we did. You know, we got two guys that are big, physical, explosive, can get off the line of scrimmage, can go up and high point the ball and catch the ball in the air. And we've know them real well. Corey Reed was in camp and nobody could cover him. He's really big and physical, smart. And then we got a guy in Josh Johnson that can really run with the ball after the catch, something that I feel like we haven't been as good as we want to be, where you throw a 6-yard out or an 8-yard option route, he catches the ball and takes it the distance for a touchdown. You know, those guys that can go the distance for touchdowns makes it a lot easier. You don't have to call as many plays. You know, you get to line up and go again. So I'm really excited about all three of them. I think all three of those guys would have the opportunity to come in and compete for playing time.
Looking at the list, you got no defensive lineman. Is that a concern?
Yeah, certainly. But Malik Clark is a defensive lineman. You know, he played defensive end, rushed the passer. We think he'll grow to be an inside guy. So we did get one. But you know, I think what they do is they look and see you got 4 seniors coming back. So I think the biggest priority for us in next year's class is defensive linemen like it was offensive linemen this year.
That's the issue, guys.
Yeah, we have 2 initials available, and you know, that's not always bad to have a couple available, whether it becomes transfer or, you know, graduate. You know, there's some guys still working on qualifying, so the recruiting never ends.
On your recruit, when you evaluate players, if you're looking at a guy and he's not a how many stars, do you sometimes see a guy and say, you know what, he fits us, he does what we want.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, there's no question that you do that. You know, when you go out to evaluate them, you're looking to see, you know, what their transcript looks like. Is he going to be able to get into school here? You see, you know, what is his intelligent, his competitive spirit like? Then you look at his measurables. So you look into you know, his height, his weight, what he does in the weight room, what his 40-yard time is, or 100-meter time, or somewhere that you can document a time, whether it was at a camp or in a track meet or somewhere where it's legit. It's not just the coach telling you that, yeah, this guy's 4'4", because they're all 4'4" anymore. You know, there's no question about that. And then you look at his football instincts and his football, the way he plays the game of football. And, you know, there's been many a years where you take guys based off of that. And I think what you have to really do is go through the process, you know, work at it. And that's what I like so much about our recruiting staff right now, is they go through the process, they work the process, we do the evaluations. You don't just pull up a website and say, this guy's a 4-star, offer him. That we do not do. You always recruit to your scheme, and then you always build your scheme off of the talent that you have, you know. So one of the things that we did and were able to do as soon as Coach Sermon got here and Coach Ward is get them out and see all the recruits that we had committed or the guys we were really after, so they could sit down and visit about that. And certainly they have an understanding of what we're looking for, what we want to do. And we also needed to have an understanding how they fit into what we want to do. So it's something that you do, you know, all the time. I think CJ's a guy that has a chance to really play early. He's not only smart and physically ready, but CJ's very mature. You know, he's walking around campus. You wouldn't think that he's a true freshman here. Everything that he does, he's mature in, you know. And I think that's something that really gives him a chance to play right away.
Last question.
Colin Wilson, the running back of this class, what's your impression?
I like Colin a lot. You know, we've been recruiting him for a long time. He grew up just down the street from where I used to live when I was in Jacksonville. I used to take my kids down there and they'd play Pop Warner on that field. He's coming off an injury, and early in the year you could see that he was just getting better. And then the next game he was a little step faster. I thought the last 4 games of the year he played like he did prior to the injury. He's explosive, he's powerful, he can catch the ball in his hands away from his body. Everything that we ask our running back to do, he can do. Protect the quarterback, catch the ball in the backfield, and run with it with power and speed. So I think he's a guy that has a chance to really help us. Thank you.